My name is EBU. I'm the Executive Supervisor of the Eurovision Song Contest, and I work for the EBU, Geneva. We are waiting for one more representative for the host broadcaster, and we will give a presentation to everyone who is at this table. But first I would like to start by presenting the media in the EBU. It's Annika from the Voice. Could you just briefly introduce yourself to everyone here?
Yes, yes I can. Good afternoon everybody also on my behalf. I am, as Jon says, the new media director at the EBU. I started working at the EBU in February. So, and the new media department that I'm still in the process of building at the EBU is about all the content that somehow passes through the EBU. Among that content also the Eurovision Song Contest. Very happy to see you all. Very welcome.
And then I would like to start to just go briefly through who is at the table. A short presentation from each of you. This is from the host broadcaster side. Ms. Adele.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm an executive producer of Eurovision Song Contest 2012 from United Television. We're here with our colleague from our team, Tahir Ahmed, head of PR and Communication Department, Kamran Agassi from PR Manager from PR and Communication Department.
Then on my left there, Ms. Baku. Please introduce yourself to those who don't know you.
So my name is Baku, I'm the event supervisor for Eurovision Song Contest, overseeing all the preparations outside of the TV broadcast, including this fantastic press center that was put together by our colleagues from Australia.
It's been an exciting week so far, and it has been an exciting year. This year, Eurovision Song Contest has been much debated for other than its great performances and artists. And we know that, and it has been a challenging year for both the host broadcaster and for the EBU. But we are more than willing also to talk about topics that is not directly related to the song contest, if you should wish, when we open for a Q&A session later on in this meeting. I would first like to go through some brief bullet points concerning this year's Eurovision. And I don't know if you see it up here, but if I could have the first bullet point, and when I've read it out, you can just change it. It's the first time we are in Azerbaijan. This is the sort of eastern point we've ever been to, the far eastern point, and it's because Azerbaijan is an EBU member, and they succeeded last year to win. Azerbaijan is not an EBU member, but My TV is an EBU member, and they succeeded to win with Edna and Nikki last year with the song Running Scared. They had their first appearance in 2008 and have been performing very strong over the years that they've been in. They were in it to win it, and we're very glad to be here in Baku in these fantastic facilities that has been brought up for the Eurovision Song Contest this year. Next slide. There are 42 countries participating this year. Montenegro is back, which is appreciated. We always like that countries coming back. Poland and Armenia is not participating this year, but we certainly hope that they will be back next year, and that could even be the case that we have a new record next year if those two countries are coming back. Next slide, please. There are some challenges when we are entering a brand new venue. This venue was finished only a couple of weeks before we started the rehearsals. We managed, however, to get all the technical equipment inside in due time to start the preparation for the Eurovision Song Contest. But it is challenging, it's brand new. No seating plan had been made for this arena before, no allocation of rooms. Nothing has been tested out. So we are doing testing at the same time as we do rigging and rehearsing. But what we saw from last night, it works both for the spectators in the arena and for the TV viewers. But it's challenging, but I hope you have been able to enter the venue, see that this is something that will be a venue for Baku in many years to come. It's not built solely for Eurovision Song Contest, but it's a multi-purpose arena that will be fitted for other type of concerts and events. Next slide, please. This year we decided to bring the televoting window back to the classic 15-minute voting window. And for a couple of years now we have had a full-length voting, which means that you could start to vote at the first song and continue throughout the whole show. We evaluated this a couple of times, and we saw that, first of all, it didn't increase the amount of votes. We saw from the peaks that almost every vote was casted during the recaps. And when you think about the captions that have to be in place in order to inform all the TV viewers how to vote, we decided to take that away and to make a cleaner image of the Eurovision Song Contest, concentrate on the song, let them sink in, and then have the recap at the end. And that worked fine. We have, as we regard it, a successful first semi-final. It was without any major difficulties. There was some difficulties in the in-ear monitoring sound for Romania, which was unfortunate, but can happen during live performance of this scale. It was good that they made it to the final, but this is things that can happen. We cannot guarantee that it won't happen again with the country, but we will work and do our utmost that it should be fine. We have next slide, please. We have a valid voting this year, as we have had every year, and it's as every year confirmed by PricewaterhouseCoopers. As you know, it's 15% televoting, 50% jury voting that is added together. This is done by our partner Digame in Cologne, and it's all monitored by PricewaterhouseCoopers. All the juries that are in place in the voting countries has notaries in place, and we have good backup system to ensure that we can present valid results if, for instance, the televoting result should be valid for technical reasons. It was quite a diverse result between the jury and televoting. The jury results came in the early morning on Tuesday after the second dress rehearsal, where all the juries had the chance to look and vote. And if you take the next slide, you will see that 8 of the songs that were picked for the final was agreed upon by the juries and the voters at home. And one made it to the final thanks to heavy support by the audience, and one song thanks to heavy support by the jury. And in the next slide, you will also see that Albania decided not to broadcast the first semi-final live, and this was due to a tragic accident, a bus accident in Albania that prevented them from doing so, because they wanted to focus on this and use their schedule to focus on the incident and everyone connected to that. So that was the first short overview when it comes to the semi-final yesterday. I would like to ask Sitze to go through some of the statistics when it comes to the media coverage of the Eurovision Song Contest after the semi-final.
Last night, just like last year, we monitored significantly what happened on the internet during the show. Last year we already saw that during the final of the Eurovision Song Contest, more than 1 million tweets were posted from around Europe with the hashtag Eurovision. And that's what we could measure. Of course, there's a lot of posts on Twitter about other, not mentioning Eurovision, but mentioning the name of an artist or the name of a country. That is quite significant, with a peak at the beginning of the show. Yesterday we monitored that again. We saw an enormous amount of tweets. We saw that at some point 5 out of the 10 trending topics, the most discussed topics on Twitter worldwide, were about the Eurovision Song Contest. And that really shows what an impact the Eurovision Song Contest has across Europe, especially amongst the younger generation that uses social media most. We almost have 500,000 fans on Facebook. We see a very significant increase in traffic on the website. And we are also very happy to mention that yesterday we had 80% more traffic on the live stream compared to the first semi-final last year. And that really shows how engaged our online audience really is. We also launched, that's the next point, we also launched for the first time the program book of Eurovision Song Contest that you all received in your bag as an ebook, so that viewers at home can download that on their laptop, on their tablet or their smartphone, and follow the show, read the lyrics, read the biographies as they watch the program. We're very happy with that. We don't have any statistics yet on how often it was downloaded, but we of course hope that it will be a big success and an important expansion of the TV show. Next slide. I give it back to you.
Yes, we have preliminary dates for Eurovision Song Contest 2013. The reason why they are preliminary is that this has to be agreed with the new host broadcaster, and we will not be able to get confirmed dates before we have discussed this quite thoroughly with them. But the reason for picking Tuesday the 14th, Thursday the 16th, and Saturday the 18th of March is to avoid, May, is that we then will avoid any major sports events like the Champions League final, for instance. And we always try to place ourselves in a TV environment that is not too challenging. And we think these are good dates for next year, but they are preliminary. Then I would like to go on to the next slide, just to give you a short overview of other topics that we are working on related to Eurovision Song Contest. We have the archive project finally now running. I know there's been a lot of talk about the archive project over the years. There is no such thing as a fully digitalized central archive of all the entries to Eurovision Song Contest. And we are now working on that quite thoroughly. We have assigned a project manager to do that. We have been able to detect all the entries, apart from the first entry in 56, which is very hard to detect, but we are working on that. And it will all be digitalized, it will be restored, we will go through it and work on it in order to provide our members with the best possible Eurovision Song Contest for each year. And as you understand, there are quite a lot of challenges when it comes to commentator sound, captions, and also different formats. So the first sort of phase of this work has been completed now. We have detected everything. We are making now a choice of storage possibilities, and we are continuing to work on this for another year, approaching 2015 and the 60th anniversary of Eurovision Song Contest. I'll go back to that soon, but if I can have the next slide. We're also working on how to secure the future for Eurovision Song Contest. Last year in Düsseldorf and this year in Baku, Eurovision Song Contest has reached proportions and dimensions that are the upper limits of what a broadcaster can manage. Its scope and the size of the Eurovision Song Contest is both expensive and very complicated to do. And as you all know, you have only 1 year to prepare. There is no country that can sort of apply for it, no city can apply for it, like for huge sports events. And that's why we have to look into models. How can we, as the EBU, support a host broadcaster that don't necessarily have the resources to put up an event this scale? That means that we could see years coming that will be Eurovision Song Contest in a much smaller scale. It will also mean that the excellent press facilities that has been provided for all of you the last years will be different. It will also mean that transportation might be different. It could mean that we are in a much smaller venue that demands less technical equipment and less logistic work around it. And we also are looking into rehearsal schedules to see if we can do it differently. Rehearsal schedules that are not so extensive will save both the host broadcaster and the participating broadcasters when it comes to the financial side of it. So we are working on different models. We will see where we are going next year. There are some countries that will definitely have a challenge, some that will do it easy, more easy. But from the EBU side, we will support, encourage the broadcaster to think differently, and I hope all of you will support it if you come to a place where these facilities not necessarily is in place. It will still be Eurovision Song Contest as we know it on the TV screen, but maybe we have to think differently around it. Then, in 2050, Eurovision Song Contest, we celebrate the 60th anniversary of Eurovision Song Contest. And we are now looking into how to do that. You will remember 2005, you remember 2005 in Copenhagen, where we put on a show. We could do the same thing, or we could do it in a different direction. The Archive project is one of the projects that will meet the milestone of the 60 years anniversary. We are also in discussions with different broadcasters among our members to see if we can come up with good ideas how we can do it. We know there's a lot of interest. So it could be documentary, it could be a spectacular show, it could be a tour in Europe. We don't know yet, but we are looking into it. And if anyone has good suggestions, we're more than willing to listen to that. That was more or less the update from the EBU side when it comes to Eurovision Song Contest this year, and a little bit in the future. We'll soon open for a Q&A, but I just want to ask if there's something that you would like to add there when it comes to this year's Eurovision Song Contest here in Baku.
Yeah, just a few words about thank you very much that was great information. So of course Azerbaijan is participating in Eurovision Song Contest since 2008, and it's really open that HDMI television as a very young broadcaster takes seriously this participation, and since the very beginning we are preparing very seriously for each song contest entry and edition. So it was really very good that we really approached this year Eurovision Song Contest, and we are happy that we hosted this event. It is one of the biggest events that we hosted in Azerbaijan. So we are happy to welcome all Eurovision family and all journalists, all fans, and all people who are involved in the song contest. questions, and if there are certain questions that you would like to ask us.
Thank you, Adil. I will leave it now to you to moderate if there's any questions. First, I would just like to say that EBU is very impressed with the great effort that has been put up by the host broadcaster into my TV to provide both facilities, logistic and excellent facilities for both press and production, transportation, security. I know it's been a huge amount of work on your shoulders, and we're of course very happy for that. And thank you.
Okay, there are any questions? Please raise your hand. If you get the microphone, please state your name and the media outlet that you represent. Do we have the microphones there and there? Alistair Birch from SBS.
Hi, Alistair Birch from Australian Radio. I have a question about another first you haven't mentioned so far this year. It's the first time the grand final starts at midnight, which is not a very viewer-friendly time. In Australia, we also struggle with time zones. We have between 3 and 5 different time zones, depending on the time of year. And in similar programs in Australia, we split show and results shows, so that the show can be broadcast in peak time and the voting can be performed in peak time in whatever time zone with results later. Have you considered doing something similar for the Eurovision?
No, we haven't. Usually the time difference is not that steep as it is right now. It has been challenging for everyone participating. I feel a little tired myself, but we have not thought about it, and we will probably not do it.
I think if I can add to that, here in Azerbaijan they are used to the fact that Eurovision Song Contest starts at midnight. People here are used to it, and I think we've seen last night that the excitement here in Azerbaijan is really at peak levels. You have to take your follow-up question later, but let's try to spread it. Any more questions? The lady here in the front, on the second row, please.
Hello, I'm Natalie Wellisch from the news agency DAPD from Berlin. I have 2 questions. You were mentioning the dimension of the ESC having become bigger and bigger. Can you say something about the costs of this year's ESC, and is it more than Düsseldorf or the years before? And second question is, you were mentioning the debate about the political situation in Azerbaijan, and there has also been critique from NGOs like Human Rights Watch at the EBU hasn't done or stand up enough to say something about the record of the government concerning freedom of press.
I can start with the first question. The overall calculation of this year's show is not done. We're still calculating in Germany for the total cost of that show, and the situation is the same in Oslo, where they just finished the final calculation just a couple of weeks ago due to disputes with one of the suppliers. So the scope of Eurovision Song Contest this year is about the same as in Düsseldorf, but it's also very difficult to compare prices. It comes to the average price in the country, the index of costs. It's also how we calculate work hours. It's about the way you work within the legal frame, how many hours you can work, then you have to staff at home, and so on. So it's difficult, and it will not be calculated or finished before probably another year. It's a very complicated and big budget. But I don't know if there's more information from the host broadcaster. I think this is. Sorry.
I can continue with your second question, but before I do that, I just wanted one comment on the cost and the size of the show. I do think, as Jan said earlier, this is something we need to look into. I can well remember the night when it occurred to me when I was working at a Finnish broadcasting company that Finland was actually going to win we were terrified. We called each other in the middle of the night and said, how are we going to manage this? Not only because of the financial resources, but also because it has grown so huge. And I think we can manage to do a very good TV show and a show which still sort of has all the elements that the Eurovision Song Contest has, but we can actually sort of split it down a little bit without really sort of going into what is the quality of the show. Participation of the people who really love it, not only in the audience, but also in all the countries who are watching it. Then the question about the criticism that has come from NGOs, human rights organizations towards the EBU. It is true that some of the human rights organizations are not happy with us. They think that we haven't sort of spoken up enough. I disagree. I think we have spoken up. I think we have sort of addressed the human rights situation in Azerbaijan, and we have said that we don't think it's on the level where it should be. And we also addressed it in the form of, for instance, organizing a workshop in Azerbaijan, in Geneva, where we talked about these issues. And we are also addressed it in the way that we are, as an organization, as EBU, who stands for press freedom, who stands for freedom of speech, which is of the core values of what EBU is. We are trying to working on these issues together with Azerbaijan, together with Turkey, which is our member here in Azerbaijan, on a long-term basis. And I really hope that the focus and the way the human rights issues are sort of talked about in the press right now will not cease just because we go away from here and the Eurovision Song Contest is no more. That this will be a continuous work. I think it's a long-term work, and we want to be part of that.
Can you say a roughly number? Does it cost?
Could you please wait for the mic?
Yes.
Sorry if I may add a question to the cost. Can you say a roughly number? You were saying it's not calculated yet. Is it 800 million, 600 million?
No, it's far away from that figure. I think I gave the cost for Oslo because I was the executive producer in Oslo, as I said, we will calculate it. Now, since I don't have the figure in euro here, I will give it to you in Norwegian kroner. You can add it up by 8. Divided by 8, sorry. 110 million Norwegian kroner divided by 8. And we will have the cost for a show in Oslo. That was more or less a full-scale Eurovision as we know it, but we decided to bring it down from Russia, which ended on 32 million euros in Oslo. We scaled it down a bit. It went up again in Düsseldorf, but the figures are not as long as they are not confirmed. I will not say anything more about it here. And as I said, this show here is more or less the same like in Düsseldorf in the proportion of the show. And I will also say that it depends on how you calculate it. If you try to add in the whole cost of building a new arena into one show, of course it will add in as we know and everyone here knows. But this is built to stand there for another 50 years and will host a lot of big events and shows. This present will be conference facilities in many years. So it's difficult to be more accurate on this.
Luke Fisher,
Luke Fisher from ESCKAZ.com. My question is to Jon Ola and Sitsa, but I'll address it to you, Sitsa. Last year there were murmurings of a slight rule change to do with how countries select their artists, that the EBU might like them to have a public selection. And I asked you about this on Radio International back in about January. Has there been any more movement on this idea?
On another international selection, we have proposed in the reference group, which is the sort of overall should be mandatory to have a national selection in some form. Some countries do it in big scale, like Sweden, for instance, also Norway. Some does it very more on a simpler way or an easier way, like Ireland, who've been for a couple of years now doing this in a regular talk show where they have sort of outlet for Eurovision selection. And we have said that we would like a minimum national selection of a minimum of one song and two artists, where the viewers can vote, or two songs, one artist. The reason for this is to increase the transparency when it comes to the selection of the song. We want to know that it's sort of fair thing going on. And the other thing is that we think it's important that you represent the country in a way, and that you have the support of your viewers when you are on stage singing and representing the country with the country flag. We also know that countries that work a lot on their national selection, they increase the awareness of the brand Eurovision Song Contest, and it also increase the way it is achieved. It creates a more positive image. If you can get a positive song contest in your domestic market, it will also increase the awareness of it in a positive way. We see that and we acknowledge that. But it is, however, so that this has to be agreed upon by another committee called the Television Committee. It's also under the EBU control. And they decided not to go for a national mandatory selection, although they support the course of it, but they decided not to. But let us wait for another year to see if there's other ways we can work towards our members to increase transparency and to increase awareness and the perception of the brand, and we will do so in the back of
It's hard to choose. The lady here on the third row.
Hello, Yurtega, Azerbaijan. Could you say how many people watched yesterday the first semi-final in the Crystal Hall?
Unfortunately, we don't have these figures yet. It takes time to collect from all our members. We have a professional system for doing so. We have a company who's collecting this, but it will take time, so it takes some days to do it. And when we know the results for the first, the second, and the grand final, and also the catch-ups with the reruns and so on, we will publish the amounts, the total amounts on our page. So we will know in a couple of weeks.
The gentleman here on the
Ian Fowle from Eurovisionary.com. This year our website has been an innovator in recording some rehearsals and interviews in 3D format. I want to see what your opinion of that is, and if there's any plans for EBU to broadcast Eurovision in the near future in 3D.
I would like to say that we will not do that in the near future. Eurovision Song Contest as it is today is extremely technical, it's complicated. And adding a 3D element, which is very difficult in a live show, will increase the possibilities of errors, and we don't want to do that. We still think we deliver a cutting-edge, very modern show without 3D. Maybe in the years to come. We are investigating actually, but not in the years to come.
Thank you. And if anyone would like to see our glasses at some point, we can watch them online. Thank you. Thank you.
Not to speak about cost in this gigantic show in 3D. Do we have some more gentlemen with the blue shirt?
Hi, it's Gareth Mulhall from EurovisionIreland.net. And firstly, can I just say congratulations on the show last night. It was worthy of a final. I thought it was absolutely wonderful, so well done. You have been talking about innovations going forward. might you look into the possibility of, for the televoting, to maybe include downloading of songs that are in the semi-finals and the finals during the actual week of the actual live shows? Would that be something that might be looked upon?
So I'm not sure if I understand your question right, because all the songs are obviously available for download on iTunes and on our website and so forth.
No, but might you actually use the volumes of songs which are downloaded as almost like the televote in an actual country?
Well, the system that we use at the Eurovision Song Contest for already many years is that every country has the same impact in the voting. We are voting for 8, 10, and 12 points. If we would then also have to add in for example, the amount of downloads, it becomes quite complicated. And as we all see now, the place where you actually get the most downloads for your song is in your own country. So whether that would be a way to sort of include the voting, I'm not sure if that is the right way, but as you rightfully said, we are looking into innovations. I can tell you we are working on an advanced app for mobile phones and tablets, which was unfortunately not ready for this year's song contest, but definitely will for next year's song contest. So people can actually vote live during the shows, get more information about the acts, and really create that so-called second screen experience that you can already now have with my visiting the website during the live show, but obviously it's an extended experience if you only have that on your mobile phone or on your tablet. So we're definitely working on that, and who knows what technology brings a year from now. We are on the outlook for all these opportunities. The gentleman in the gray costume. Where is Terry?
Well, if you would like to have an interview with Jerry, we'll arrange that afterwards. I know you're not very easy. Cece, could I address the question, please? You and Spence from ESCKAZ. You said earlier in the presentation that your viewing figures on Eurovision.tv were up 80% on the previous years. I wonder if you could quantify that, either through concurrent streams or unique IPs of the numbers they had this year, or indeed last year. I don't think we've had confirmed viewer numbers on the internet stream since 2006.
Well, I can only relate to the numbers of last year. I actually don't know them by heart. I know that last year, during the grand final, at some point we had almost 300,000 consecutive viewers on the live stream. And what we also see is that people stay longer when they drop out and they come back later on, for example for the voting, which is just like on television, the most popular part on the TV show. What we also see is that apart from us live streaming, which has been done since 2006, we see that more and more broadcasters are also taking the live stream with their own commentators, and they also have great success. So this is not only success on the side of the EBU, but also success that we share with all participating members.
Would you be willing to publish the geographic breakdown after the event stream?
I think...
No one here. Please keep in mind.
Would you be willing then to publish after the event geographic breakdown of where those viewers are coming from?
Yes, sure.
Lovely.
Gentlemen,
Hi. I'm from ESCKAZ.com. I have a question about the voting procedure for the final. Since we have only announcement of the top three, it's actually not such exciting as it was, because all the people, also the not Eurovision fans, know already which country is giving big points to which country. So I get some information that it's actually not exciting so anymore. Do you think, the question is, are you thinking to change something, or to bring maybe the old kind of of voting from 1 to 12 points, some other structure to make a voting again exciting as it was. Thank you.
I'm sorry to hear that the voting is no longer exciting. I still think it's not a way to go back to start from 1 point up. It's 42 countries presenting their votes like this year, or can be even more. It will take a very, very long time to present the votes. What we did last year was to implement algorithm in how we present the votes and the order of presentation of the votes. We created a lot more suspense. This was developed by an arcade in 2010. It was not implemented for Eurovision 2010, but it was implemented the year after. They went back and calculated from 2005 up to now how the voting had been placed, how the voting procedure had been, if that had been the case. We think that this is an improvement that we will work on for the years to come. Then of course we look into this, we discuss it, we see are there other ways we can do it, are there other ways we can present the votes that can make it more exciting. Well, we have to come up with any suggestions, so if you have any other suggestions, I'm happy to listen.
About the suggestion, sorry. It is not possible, for example, when the countries are dropping out in the semi-final, they are no more there. But it is not possible to let, for example, 26 countries to win the points 1 to 12, and then all the countries which was dropped from the semi-final to counting in one, for example, 27 votes 1 to 12. So
I appreciate your suggestion from there, but it would be better if we talk about it after the press conference, for instance. So we'll continue with the questions. Thank you.
Yes, hello. I'm Szymon Sarnowski from Polish Radio Newsletter. Two questions actually. First one is about the idea of golden ticket. Of course, I'm sorry to say this, but not every viewer is clever enough, and he or she may discover the idea as, for instance, from last night, that Ireland won the semi-final because receiving something golden. What is the idea behind? And the second thing about postcards. I don't know if it's proper place to mention it, but I read a lot of negative comments about using Azerbaijan. Postcards were wonderful, by the way, went of everything. But is it correct to put Holy Land as the name of this beautiful country? Thank you.
I can read a lot of questions to my team who's responsible for producing the postcards. And what about your first question?
On the idea of golden tickets.
Yeah, the golden tickets is an idea that came up because over the last years we have acknowledged that going to the final is probably more important for many countries than actually winning the final. And that's why I wanted to enhance that suspense, make it more exciting. And we all know that when there's only one place left for the final, and there are still 9 countries waiting, this could be a moment that we could sort of play on dramaturgically to create more excitement. The idea of golden ticket came out of that. If it's not explained thoroughly enough, we should be better. I had a couple of reactions back that I don't know this is golden ticket. So we have to work on that. We still think it's a good idea to sort of make that moment, the last moment, as an important moment. Could be better.
The second question. Answering the question, I think generally it's usual because in the past countries use postcards to promote their country. Obviously, there are maybe different opinions about it, but it was in the past, and there is nothing unusual about this.
name is Yilmaz, meeting from Turkey, Eurovision from Turkey and Germany. And my question is, if the winning country of this Eurovision Song Contest is not able to host next year Eurovision Song Contest, which country would organize the contest next year? Maybe the second place or one of the big five? Could you tell us? Thank you so much.
For the moment, that is not, we have never entered into such a situation. If that happens, we have to solve it. But we have not completed that situation yet. As I said a little earlier, we are working on different models. And as you know, EBU will be, every year is supporting the host broadcaster quite a lot when it comes to the work of putting on Eurovision Song Contest. And I'm sure we will find a way to help the hosting country to do Eurovision Song Contest, although it will be in a different scale. So we'll take it comes to it never happened before, and I'm sure we will manage to do it.
Thank you. The gentleman to right there in blue. Yes.
With Marta from DPA News Agency, I'd like to come back to the political side of Eurovision. From the German delegation came a suggestion that it might be worth considering in the future certain countries that live not up to democratic standards, especially when it comes to Belarus, which might win this Eurovision this year. Are there any plans of excluding in the future any countries from Eurovision?
I think this is a question that certainly is answered more or less the same way as the previous question. We haven't been in a situation like that before, and if we find ourselves in a situation like that, then we sort of have to discuss it. But the question is really, where we have members, where if a member wins, then according to the rules of the Eurovision Song Contest, that member is one of the organizers. And so the question is really, should EBU have members in countries that are not living up to democratic principles? And that's a much bigger issue than just discussing the Eurovision Song Contest.
And if I may add, some of you might know I'm supervising the Junior Eurovision Song Contest, which is a much smaller event than the Eurovision Song Contest, but nevertheless between 30 and 16 participating EU members. Back in 2010, that contest was hosted in Belarus and organized by the Belarusian EU member. It was completely non-political. It was a successful event and it gave a great deal of knowledge and expertise to BTRC, the public broadcaster in Belarus. And this is very valuable for a broadcaster. There might be difficult, challenging political circumstances in a country, but we consider this kind of events as a positive contribution to public broadcasting in that particular country. And that's what we also saw when the Junior Eurovision Song Contest was hosted in Belarus. The gentleman.
Hello, Oliver from German Press. I have questions regarding Armenia. I understand there was Armenian broadcaster was charged with a fine for the very late withdrawal. Is there a ban also, or can Armenia enter next year? If yes, does Armenia need to broadcast Saturday's final? And as far as you know, will Armenia broadcast Saturday's final?
Yeah. Armenia has broadcast this year's final according to the rules. They will be able to participate next year unless they have a fine, and they will broadcast.
The gentleman with the wall.
Yes, Maya Stern magazine Germany. You mentioned the high security level here at this area, especially at the arena. So, can you say how many security personnel is located inside the arena on the show on Saturday? And compared to Düsseldorf, which was a bigger venue, is it more or less? And if this figure is significantly higher, why?
As you probably understand, we cannot comment on the amount of security because that's part of the security itself. I can say that the security is sufficient. We have a very good dialogue. We have had that for many months with the Israeli security authorities. They have great knowledge about both the region and, of course, Azerbaijan itself. We are here to both advise them on the different logistic challenges within and around the arena when it comes to how the show flow must be. This is not as the same as it was in Düsseldorf, where the security was massive. And it's I would say it's normal, tight, firm, and sufficient security.
We have time for 2 more questions. Most people at the table have to go to the first restaurant of the second semi-final. Let's see the lady there in back. Yes, please. Thank you.
Selamet Kemal, Azerbaijan. Yesterday in the concert for audience, there were many empty seats. Why the press hadn't been allowed to fill these seats? Dünenleri boş yerler çok iyiydi konseptte. Niye göre presse icazı verilmedi ki o yerler doldursun?
Thank you for your question. Yesterday we saw the highest attendance at the semi-final ever in the Eurovision Song Contest. Never in the history of the Eurovision Song Contest we had so few empty seats in the semi-final, and we are very proud from the host broadcaster and very happy with the commitment of the people here in Baku and Azerbaijan for visiting the semi-final with such passion and dedication. We have a tradition in the Eurovision Song Contest that the first dress rehearsal of every show is open to the media so that they can see the show, they can evaluate performances, they can see how it's being produced. There's a lot of space available, so why not take those seats during that first dress rehearsal? But of course, during the live shows, tickets being sold usually up to the very last moment, and we also know that very often we don't have the capacity to meet all journalists. So that is why several years ago already the decision was taken to open up the first dress rehearsal for the press and try, of course, to sell as many tickets as possible for the live shows as well as for the second dress rehearsals during the evenings preceding shows. We have time for one more question. I see a lot of hands going up. It's hard to choose between Eric and Jake. Sorry, I'll say a question.
Yes.
Very good.
We tried 50-50. Yeah? 2 questions I have actually. It's to do with the seating of the audience around the stage. Yesterday it was very difficult for many people to see the screens behind the stage. We couldn't. We had these seats, and we were not very happy with this. Is there any chance that in the future the seating arrangements could be made in front of the stage for everybody?
I think we have to look into this as a TV show. A TV show will work much better, in our opinion, with a stage covered with audience. We know that the seats might not be 100% perfect. We still have a sort of close, compact encounter with the stage, which is good, and it creates a fantastic atmosphere. So I think we have still, although we appreciate that people will be accommodated as good as we can in the arena, still have to think about the TV show and the outlets.
One more question, so can you please switch your microphone back on?
Okay. Would there be maybe a chance to put another screen inside the arena and that the people can actually see what's going on? Because we have to turn around, we have to turn our backs to the stage to see the screens in the back.
That's a valid point, and I think we can take as a good input for a group.
Was that your second question?
know that it was actually part of this, but for the second one, in the previous years, you always have presented to us the trophy, what you're going to be giving to the winner on Saturday night. The microphone?
You mean here?
Yes.
Oh.
I can promise you it's there in a very safe place. And who knows, we'll find a surprise moment to reveal that wonderful microphone, which by the way has become a great part of the Eurovision tradition already. So we're very happy with that, and I'm sure we'll find a good spot to show it to you with great pride. Sorry, we have to wrap it up. Everyone around the table has to start preparing for the upcoming dress rehearsal. If there are any questions, I'll be around to answer. I will be around to answer any questions you might still have one-on-one. Thank you very much for attending. I wish you a great Eurovision